You guys hear another video on the channel, fantasy video. This one's obviously going to be to kick off the FPL season, 26-27. Video directing kind of match day one, giving tips for match day one, and just general team construction, right, for the beginning of the season. If you guys are new to the channel, first video here, I play a variety of fantasy games, primarily European leagues like Bundesliga, Champions League, and obviously FPL. I'll be honest, it's probably going to be hard for you guys to find another fantasy player with my kind of variety and ranks, with the finishes that I've had. So if you do like the content, definitely stay on definitely subscribe to the channel. Check out my older videos. Here you can see on the screen some of my past seasons the ranks we finished on. Pretty decent finish last year in FPL, default FPL, right? In FPL Challenge, we had a really good rank finish, 737. Season before in FPL Challenge, I'd say it's a pretty good rank too. Bundesliga, 2 seasons ago, my first season playing the game, finished at number 524 in the world, really good rank there. Last season in UCL Fantasy, really good rank finish, 562 in the world. We could have done even better, honestly. And then another good finish last season in the Bundesliga. We have way more that I just didn't put on the screen, like MLS Fantasy. I stopped playing MLS Fantasy this year. If you guys play the game, in my opinion, they kind of killed the game with the new format. But I was a top 600 finisher in MLS Fantasy as well. Plenty of individual match day, number 2, number 3 in the world. Plenty of those in MLS Fantasy. But yeah, like I said, subscribe to the channel. I'm sure I can help you guys out a lot. Okay, hopefully. But let's get into the FPL season here, guys. I'll kind of detail you guys what the team is looking like for match day one and what our strategy is, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it here. My current chip strategy to start off, to kind of give you an idea when you guys see the team that I put together, why I put that team together. I'm 100% set on triple captaining Haaland, obviously, hopefully if he's available, right? Hopefully he is. I plan on, triple captaining him match day 3 against Coventry at home. People say it, right, and I think it's kind of relative. I don't think it's going to happen every season, but everybody says that Haaland usually gets off the gates firing, right? And that seems to always be the case. I'm a non-believer that this is always going to keep happening every season he plays, right? Like it's trends, right? But realistically, like I rather play him when he's in form, when he's hot, when I know he's going to be playing, and that's usually towards the beginning of the season, right? When we start introducing kind of European football and Champions League, we start having our doubts. That's why I kind of just want to get the chip out of the way really quick. Obviously, we don't expect there to be any double game weeks in the first half of the season. And we obviously got to play the chip in the first half of the season. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of the way against a recently promoted side in Coventry. Some people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to wait till Hull City because statistically they're worst. You guys can go ahead and wait till match day 16. Is Haaland actually going to be available then? You get what I'm saying? I just want to get it out of the gates, right away. Why not? Right. Bench boost. I know a lot of people are playing it early. Game week 1, game week 2. I know a lot of the top players, drafts are kind of constructed to attack a bench boost in game week 1 or game week 2. I'll be honest. I kind of don't want to do that right, at the current moment because I think we have a lot of lack of information as the beginning of the season is starting right now, right? We don't know if there's going to be a 4 million keeper. As of right now, it doesn't look like there is one. But realistically, once we get more information towards the beginning few game weeks, there might be one. So it might be simpler to put together a bench boost draft. Not that the 4 million keeper is going to make the whole difference when you play the chip or not, but it's one extra piece that you can use to attack that bench boost, and kind of have a better team later on in the first half of the season. So I think lack of information is one of the main causes why I'm drawn off the bench boost early. And also, I feel like once we play the bench boost, guys, realistically, this is obvious why, right? The funds are going to be spread throughout the team. It's going to be harder for us to get, really big name players, in all areas of our team because we're going to have to spread out the money to have a decent enough side to attack the bench boost early, right? So I think that might cause us to potentially have to use the wild card early as well. And if you can see a lot of these content creators, that are attacking early bench boost, they're also planning to use the early wild card to kind of fix their team. Okay, I mean, I'm all for being aggressive in fantasy. I'm usually a pretty aggressive player, I'd say. But I just feel like, So we're gonna attack the bench boost with a lack of information, and then we're gonna try to cover it with an early wild card, maybe game week 3 or game week 4 or 6, right before the international break or right after. I think we still have what we're gonna still have, right? Probably around 13, right, or so match days extra. 19, right? The Premier League is 38 game weeks, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I could be wrong, but so we're still gonna have a ways to go after these players play their wild card, guys. And are you 100% sure that by game week 6 you're gonna have a team ready to carry you comfortably throughout the rest of the first half of the season? Potentially. I did it last season. It worked out, so I'm not completely against it. But I'm kind of taking a more passive approach, as you guys can see. I don't even know when I'm gonna play my wild card. Like I said, my plan is going to be to wild card into a bench boost at some point in the first half of the season. Once I get a lot of information, maybe we get some information on some really good enablers that are that are playing really well towards the beginning of the season, that maybe we have no clue that they're going to be playing this well right now. And it might be really easy to put a really strong bench boost towards maybe around, whatever, game week 8, game week 9. We start seeing some of these pieces come together that we can build a really nice bench boost, kind of wild card into a bench boost in the first half of the season. I'm not against that. Like I said, I just want to play more passive right now to begin the season, get information to then hopefully my play, like I said, wild card into a bench boost. Okay, free hit. I'm just gonna leave it open for now as well. Realistically, the game weeks that I see people planning to do free hit like 4 might not be the case. You guys can see we're gonna have Chelsea assets in the team already, so I'm just gonna kind of leave that in my back pocket as well. Never a bad idea to have chips at your disposal, right, guys? I'm all for planning to play them, like a lot of these content creators, like bench boosting a wildcard. I don't mind that. It's just me right now. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. Teams that I feel like we could target early here to start off. The first 3 to 4 game weeks. Okay. Arsenal. Let's be honest, they're the champions. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of uncertainties in terms of minutes. But obviously, as we know, Community Shield's coming up tomorrow as of the time of me recording this video right now. I'm recording on, the 15th, noon, U.S. Eastern time. You guys kind of have to convert that into your time zone. But, that the Community Shield is going to be 10 a.m. tomorrow on Sunday. We're obviously going to get some information, right? I don't think it's going to be the whole scope of the story. There's going to be a lot of players that we might see starting game week 1 that might be benched tomorrow to start, the Community Shield game. So be wary of that. But we might get some information on kind of defenders, like, right, Mascara and all that. We might get confirmation on pieces like that, right? But I feel like Arsenal, starting off against Coventry, awesome fixture start off the season. Villa away, not the worst fixture, okay? We don't know what Villa's going to look like this season. Chelsea, I don't mind playing a lot of Arsenal pieces against Chelsea. Sunderland away, could be a decent enough fixture too, okay? They're the champions, let's be honest, and they were the best defense last year. I don't mind attacking that early here, okay? Manchester City, I believe the second best defense in the Premier League, the best attack in the Premier League. Look at these opening fixtures. I don't mind any of those. All of those look like good fixtures for points for Man City players to me, okay? Man United playing 2 recently promoted sides to start off the season. Game week 1, game week 2. I don't mind that at all. Attacking their defensive pieces and their attacking pieces, okay? Everton away, I don't think it's a bad fixture either for, guys like Bruno, guys like Embuemo, okay? Chelsea, don't mind those opening fixtures at all. Obviously, a new look Chelsea with Xabi and some new pieces like maybe Morgan Rogers. I doubt he starts the first game week, right? But how's that team going to look, right? I think independent from new coaching, a new coach, I think a lot of these Chelsea pieces, like individual pieces, like JP and Palmer, I really like them for matchups like, Fulham, like Brian, okay? I don't mind those fixtures for guys like that, independent of what the coaching situations, game style is going to look like, okay? Whole game week 4, so pretty good run here. Arsenal, not the greatest fixture. If you want to free hit your Chelsea assets against Arsenal, I don't mind that. But realistically, we know a guy like Cole Palmer could do his thing against Arsenal away. I don't see why not, okay? Sunderland, really good run to start the season here. They play Ipswich, they play Fulham, Brentford. I don't mind Sunderland assets here. Crystal Palace, obviously new coaching, but by the looks of it, they're going to keep their kind of defensive identity for the most part. I don't mind Everton away. I don't mind. I mean, Man City away, we might have to dodge that a little bit, but I don't think it's the end of the world for some of these guys that can get you DEFCONs and stuff, Fulham, Ipswich, good fixtures, so not bad fixtures for Palace. Liverpool, obviously, how's that going to look with Viola now? I think, like I said, kind of the case like Chelsea, regardless of what the coaching looks like, their players, I know they're consistent contributors, okay? In fantasy, they can find the back of the net, okay? I'm not worried. Newcastle away with all the uncertainties around Newcastle, they just lost right now as the time I'm recording this video to Leverkusen. I don't mind Liverpool assets against Newcastle, and then two good fixtures after that against Forest and Ipswich. Brentford, I feel like, is going under the radar. Really good run of fixtures to start the Premier League season as well. We got Tottenham, Leeds, Sunderland. Good fixtures, right? For attacking guys like Thiago. Don't mind that, okay? Even some DEFCON guys on defense, okay? Here's some names by position that I really like, okay? To kind of not only match day one, but start off the first 4 to 3 game weeks of the season, okay? Haaland goes unsaid. I see a lot of people do these no Haaland drafts. I'll be honest, guys. I think he starts. Maybe even if he doesn't start the Community Shield tomorrow, I think Haaland's gonna start, right? I don't see why he wouldn't. Against Bournemouth, I think he has all the potential in the world to bag more than that. Okay, I wouldn't be playing around going without Haaland. I seen a lot of drafts putting together no Haaland bench boost 1 drafts. I don't get the point of that. You could have a hell of a strong bench boost game week 1 draft, no Haaland, and realistically, you gain a lot of points from the bench. But it could be enough that if you leave Haaland out, Haaland basically matches your bench. So you basically got nowhere. You wasted your chip. Be wary of that, okay? JP, obviously on a tear last season. I started off the season with him last year. Really good, really consistent. I think he's kind of one of those fixed forwards now that you just kind of play and you hope for the best, even with the minutes risk around Chelsea and stuff. João Pedro, I'm Brazilian. I really like him. Yeah. Isak, been kind of on fire to start the preseason. Has scored already. I don't mind him. We saw Newcastle Isak already, guys. We know what he can do, okay? Thiago, like I said, Brentford has a really good run to start the really good run of fixtures to start the season. I don't mind Thiago. Just obviously be wary that a lot of his goals last year came from penalties. Me as a Brazilian kind of had an idea that what happened in the World Cup was going to take place. Kind of a downgrade on what his production was without having 10 penalties a season. But I still think he's a good option, okay? Yeah, just be wary. I don't think he's going to score 20-plus goals again this season without having that many penalties to his favor, okay? Gyökeres, I don't mind that. Obviously, a lot of risks involved in his minutes, but he's kind of a guy like JP. I don't mind it. You just kind of, right, if you have the money, you play him. Just have a good bench and hope for the best, okay? DCL, Calvert-Lewin, I don't mind him. Good run of fixtures for Leeds. Kind of the cheap forward to enable you to use money elsewhere. Igor Jesus as well. Like I said, I'm a Brazilian, guys. And awesome enough, Igor Jesus played for my Brazilian team before he went to Forest, Botafogo. I'm a diehard Botafogo fan. I saw plenty of Igor Jesus, and I kind of had a feeling he was going to do really good in the Premier League. So it's really awesome to see Igor Jesus popping off like this, guys, for Forest. And I'm going to be cheering on for Forest a lot, okay, this season. I don't have a team in the Premier League, but I definitely want to see Igor Jesus succeed. So definitely want to see Forest succeed, okay? Good run of fixtures for him. I think he can definitely be a standout player this season, okay? Brian Broadby, I don't mind. Like I said, Sunderland, really good run of fixtures to open the Premier League season, okay? Don't mind Broadby as a cheap enabler. Wissa and Osula, Newcastle lost today. Like I said, Wissa started. Osula has started some of the other preseason games. I don't know why. I feel like Osula, if he gets minutes, he's going to be really good. Wissa, same thing, but it's going to be a minutes risk, so maybe we dodge those guys for now until we get more info, okay? Mids, a lot of good options, a lot of different price tagged options, okay? Bruno, if you want the money, if you want to go there, awesome. I think for 12, I mean, man, if you're happy with how the rest of your team looks, banking the 12 million on him, I don't mind it. I think go for it. It's Bruno. We know how good he is, especially with his good start of the season of fixtures for Man United. I don't mind that at all, okay? But I definitely feel like guys like Emblemo, guys like Cunha could definitely outscore him in any given game week. So definitely keep that in mind, okay? Saka, let's see. Obviously, sometimes it could be a risk in terms of minutes, but we know what Saka is. Very good. The price tag, sometimes he makes it worth it, okay, a lot of the times, okay? Like we already talked about Emblemo. He's been on a tear in the preseason, scoring a lot of goals. Could be a really nice option, okay? Phil Foden, I'm tired of seeing these quotes already from Maresca. People talking about the Maresca quotes, about how he sees Foden as one of the main 3 pillars on his team. Okay, awesome. Honestly, I was going to bank on Foden regardless. This information kind of just added my confidence. Foden's the guy that I feel like is going very much under the radar. We know what he's capable of. For that price tag, I'll definitely take a gamble on him. No issues, especially with the opening round of fixtures for Man City, okay? Definitely provide a lot of value. Can be a player that everybody's scrambling to get early, and we'll be in a really good spot having him on the team, okay? Palmer, I'm one of those confident people that think Palmer is going to bounce back pretty early in the season. I think that's going to happen. I like those opening fixtures. I'm going to have Palmer. I think he's kind of like the guy that kind of matches Bruno's potential for way cheaper, allowing you to use the funds elsewhere. I'm one of those confident guys on Palmer that thinks he's going to have a really good season. Yeah, penalties. We know what Cole Palmer's capable of, okay? Bruno G, now with Bruno Guimarães. He's from my city. He's from Rio, just like me. I'm a Brazilian born there, just like he is. It's cool seeing his rise into the Premier League. Let's see what he's going to do in Arsenal. Apparently, he's going to start off the gates. If he does what he did in Newcastle for Arsenal, going to be a great option, right? Zolis might be a minutes risk to start off the season for Arsenal. Looks like he might start, but his minutes, how are they going to look like, right? But in the Greek league, this guy had like 40 goal contributions. He looks like a real hidden gem potentially, okay? For that price tag, maybe he's a guy that we're scrambling to get early, kind of like Foden, okay? Shada, I don't mind him. He should have had way more goals than he did last season. His numbers kind of don't justify what he produced, but he's not a super consistent player, okay? He's a more irregular player, a guy that can pop off for 18 with a hat trick like we saw him do last season, and then kind of go on a cold streak. On a bench boost, I think he's pretty interesting, but just be wary. He does have really good opening fixtures, though, okay? Dango, kind of the same thing as Shada, an alternative to him. Rodgers, like I said, how are his minutes going to look like to start the season? But I think he could potentially end up becoming a better option than Palmer, so we got to be careful. I'd rather just start on Palmer like I will and be able to downgrade to Rodgers than the opposite, right? I start on Rodgers, he's a risk, he's a minutes problem, and then I got to find funds to go to Palmer. I just rather have the upper end on that kind of scenario, okay? Harvey Barnes, he scored already in preseason. I think he's going to be a good option. Now without Gordon, he could take more responsibility, and Harvey Barnes I feel like, usually always goes under the radar in the Premier League. He's always putting up good numbers. He's just one of those guys that just kind of been in the shadows of guys like Isak and the shadows of a guy like Gordon. Maybe this season he kind of takes the protagonism that he deserves, okay? Ismail Assar, super under the radar for 6.5. Like, I see a lot of people picking Anderson, right? Anderson, I rarely had him in my team last year. I understand the whole perspective around DEFCON guys and how underrated DEFCON points can be. But I'm a manager that, like I said, I'm pretty aggressive. With my midfielders and my attackers, I'm usually going to be looking for goals and assists, okay? Awesome if they get DEFCONs. That's an added bonus in my point of view. Guys like Bruno that can do it all, I love them because of that. But I'm going to be looking for goals. I'm going to be looking for assists before I look at DEFCON, okay? That's why in my mind, if you give me 6.5, I'm going to Ismail Assar all day of the week over a guy like Anderson, okay? Regardless, now that he has City, he has more corner responsibility. Oh, but he's playing for a better team now. His set pieces are likely to produce more assists. Let's see, okay? His DEFCON, yeah, he has DEFCON. But like I said, guys, I want the flashy players that can produce, that have really good XG. A guy like Ismail Assar, super underrated in my opinion, okay? I'm going to take him over Anderson all day of the week, okay? I know how good DEFCON players ended in terms of the overall points last year. I understand that. But I'm personally going to stick to guys that can get goals and assists, okay? Like I said, bonus if they get DEFCON, okay? There's going to be times where I'm going to go for DEFCON, and maybe guys like Rice I really like because of that. They're do-it-all mids, and I'm going to have them in my teams in certain areas of the year. But for right now, like I said, goals, assists, okay? Dewsbury Hall, I don't mind. He's an all-action mid, in my opinion. Good run of fixtures there. Decent enough for Everton, not the greatest. Njai, good. He's kind of like Shada, good enough for the price, okay? Norgard, this might be going against what I just said about DEFCON, but Norgard I think is a guy that, for the price tag, I don't mind that. 5.5, he's way cheaper than Anderson, okay? He's a guy that is a proven, with Brentford, we saw what he did in terms of DEFCON. He had 12 a game? He's really good, but he's shown that he could go beyond Anderson and produce kind of around 8 or more goal contributions. So he kind of does a little more than Anderson. That's why I'm kind of including him here. And yeah, I just like him better than Anderson. I don't know why. Harry Wilson now with Leeds. I think Harry Wilson is worth a shot if you like him. Verts, I like way more than Jabuzlai. In my first draft, I had Verts over Jabuzlai. I know what Jabuzlai did last season, but I think Verts is going to have a bounce back season this year. That's what I just feel like in my opinion, okay? Jabuzlai looks like he's going to play deeper this season. We saw Verts in these preseason games scored already, kind of playing as like a false 9 behind Isak. Man, I follow the Bundesliga closely, as you guys saw my Bundesliga fantasy ranks. Verts, man, I just feel like if he gets going, forget it, bro. Like, he's going to be a top scoring mid in this game, okay? Just watch out, okay? But I like Szoboszlai too. Okay, let's see. I like both of them. I'm just one of those that if you give me the choice, it's Verts all day of the week, okay? Semenyo, don't mind. A lot of assists in the preseason already. Doku, I'd rather have Semenyo way more. And Foden, okay, before I pick Doku, personally. Amad Diallo, if you want to take a gamble on him, these first two opening fixtures, I don't mind. Just obviously know that his minutes are always going to be a risk. But he's obviously a guy that can produce decent enough XG. For a 6 million gamble, I don't mind it. If you want to take a gamble on him, maybe you want to just pick a team for game weeks 1 and 2. I don't know. He's worth a shot, dude. Definitely, okay? Cunha, same kind of case, but way more expensive, okay? Gibbs White, I don't mind. With Forest's opening fixtures, decent enough. Enzo Lefebvre. Again, really good opening run of fixtures for Sunderland. For his price tag, I believe it's like 6 million, right? Really good budget enabler if you want to do a bench boost. I really like him, okay? Guy that can take pens for Sunderland. Guy, all action mid, right? Defcons, assists, goals, awesome, okay? Neto, to attack the opening 4 for Chelsea, kind of as a gamble, I think is okay. I think it's not my favorite name, I'll be honest with you guys. He's kind of like on the Amad Diallo shelf. Very much a bet, but one that could potentially work out, okay? Just obviously, I think he's going to be sharing a lot of minutes with Rodgers, so be careful, okay? Defenders, a lot of good options, okay? Gabriel goes unsaid. Mosquera looks like he's going to be starting in Saliba's spot. I think for that price tag to attack the very good Arsenal defense, I like that. Calafiori, to me, I see a lot of people picking Calafiori before they pick Mosquera. I don't like that. I think Calafiori does offer you more goal threat, but Mosquera, in my opinion, could offer you better defcons. He could offer you the most important thing, which is minute security, way more than Calafiori. Like, we could see Calafiori getting subbed around the 50th. I wouldn't be surprised. So just be careful, because you're kind of wasting a pick on him. Because if he gets out, like, in the 50th some minute, he's a one-pointer for you. You just wasted your Arsenal, defender slot. So just watch out, okay? Munoz, I don't mind. He's always consistently giving you a lot of offensive threat, okay? Palace might be a good defense yet again this season. I don't mind that. White, kind of on the risky shelf with Calafiori. I prefer Mosquera, okay? Shaw, to start off the season, I feel like he's definitely very likely to start at left back for Man United. He's not going to give you anything really besides clean sheets. But as 4.5 enabler for the first 2 games, which is what I'm personally doing in my team, I don't mind that at all, okay? Maguire, I think, is definitely better than him. He, for 0.5 million more, gives you way better, right, defcons. So another really good route to points. And as of the recording, August 15th today, against Milan, he scored. I'm guessing he scored a header against Milan, so a guy that's been bagging goals in the preseason, okay? Dallo, I don't mind. I'm not seeing a lot of people recommend Dallo. I don't mind as an alternative to Shaw. But for the price tag and what they offer you, I'd rather take Shaw personally, okay? O'Reilly, let's see if he's actually going to start the season. But a guy that had, 7 goal involvements last season, and he could have had way more than that. For City, a really good clean sheet side with good fixtures to open up the season. I don't mind it. He might be a little too. His price is hefty, but I think he can justify that. Okay, Nico Williams, I don't mind that. Moharemovic, really good for Leeds. Guy that we've seen all this talk on him preseason of how he's like a DEFCON beast. Definitely looks to be the case. I don't mind if you want to go for him for DEFCONs and to target potentially some clean sheets. Maybe they could happen for Leeds. I don't mind him, okay? Joe Rodon, I'd rather have Moharemovic, okay? I'd rather him than Rodon. Ballard, Dan Ballard, I like him a lot, okay? Like I said, I see some clean sheets potentially for Sunderland, and he's one of the top DEFCON guys in the game, okay? Minutes are pretty safe. He's a guy with really good aerial threat. I like Dan Ballard a lot, okay? Mukiele, I like him too as an alternative. Let's see if Meunier might take minutes away from him. I like Mukiele better, though, here, okay? Tarkovsky, I don't mind. He's a guy that just usually produces consistent DEFCONs, okay? But for that price tag, there might be better options in my opinion, okay? Everton, usually a good clean sheet side, but those fixtures to open up, are they the best? Potentially not, okay? Canvo, Richards, same case with Munoz. Like I said, Palace have decent enough fixtures to open up the season like we saw, but I feel like Canvo and Richards are, they give you way better DEFCON than Munoz, so I really like them for that reason, right? Ayer, looks like Vandenberg for Brentford is going to be injured to start off the season. Looks like Ayer's kind of locked to be in that center back position for Brentford. And he's a guy that usually when he got starts last season, I believe I saw a statistic that was like 70% of those starts for him, he got DEFCON. So, man, for 4.5, a really good little option in my opinion, okay, to target some DEFCONs, maybe some clean sheets. Don't mind him, okay? I don't mind him. He's not my favorite, but I don't mind him, okay? Collins, I mean, because their fixtures, because of their potential in terms of DEFCONs, which is kind of on close to being in the same shelf, maybe a little superiority for Collins, but does he justify being more expensive than Ayer? I don't think so. I'd probably select with Ayer here. Pedro Porro, I like him a lot here, okay? Tottenham, decent enough run of fixtures to start the season. He gives you a lot of offensive threat. I like Pedro Porro a lot, okay? Van Heck, is he going to start the season with Senesi? Or Van de Ven? I like all three of them. I definitely prefer Van Heck and Senesi because of DEFCONs. Van de Ven, I probably wouldn't go there, but these two I definitely would, okay? Gavardio, like I said, Maresca really likes him by the looks of his comments, okay? I think he could be good, especially at left back for that price. I don't mind it. I personally like Guehi better. Let's see who's going to be nailed in that Man City backline. It's going to be hard to tell, I think. But I prefer Guehi, okay? We saw his aerial threat, how good it was. His DEFCONs, how good it was. I'm personally going to stick with Guehi compared to Gavardio right now. But I could definitely downgrade to Gavardio before the season starts. I don't find that to be hard to happen. But I like both of them right now. I prefer Guehi just slightly because of his DEFCONs and aerial threat. But let's see, okay? I might downgrade to Gavardio, okay? Nunes, also for Man City, I don't mind, okay? If he's going to be playing that right back position for that price tag, I don't mind. A guy that got plenty of assists last season, okay? Van Dijk, I think it's awesome use of your funds. Van Dijk is usually going to produce you points. You just play him. It's a set and forget defender. I love him. You don't know when he's going to get you points, but he will consistently throughout the season. It's Van Dijk. It's DEFCONs. It's goals. Just don't overthink it. If you have the funds, play Van Dijk, okay? Awesome fixture start off the season too. Kirkes, maybe kind of a wait and see, but I think he could be a good option as the season goes on, okay? Lacroix, if he starts the season for Chelsea, awesome. Even if he gets integrated slowly, we saw what Lacroix was for DEFCONs last year. If Chelsea is a decent enough defense this year, he could be a really good pick for DEFCONs, okay? Target clean sheets. Vuskovic, he's a guy that I followed a lot in the Bundesliga last season. I had him in my team plenty of game weeks for Hamburg in the Bundesliga last year. He was kind of a guy that for a lot of periods of time in the Bundesliga fantasy season was fixed in my team. No surprise seeing him, with very hyped up for this Premier League season. He's a guy that if we see him start for Brighton, guys, for his DEFCONs, for Brighton's decent enough defensive record, I feel like he's an awesome option, okay? Palestra, obviously a guy that played for Cagliari, Serie A last season, good, okay? Had 5 goal involvements. He's a guy that can potentially hit DEFCONs as well, in my opinion, okay? Let's keep an eye on him. For that 4.5 million price tag, him and Hato, I really like a lot, okay? Mitchell could be a cheap alternative to Richards and Canvo. Van Iwick, sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation. We're kind of getting into the budget, a shelf for defenders, right? Him and Thomas for Coventry. If you want to attack that early bench boost, I don't mind it. But I wouldn't have 100% confidence that's going to work out for you, okay? These are guys that you just kind of filling your bench with that you know are going to get, 90 minutes potentially and get you 2 points off the bench. Potentially, okay? Diop for Ipswich, kind of the same deal. And O'Shea as well, okay? Yeah, but don't be surprised if some of them just don't end up being fixed in the rotation and you kind of have a headache kind of trying to take them out of your team, okay? Goalkeepers that I like, Raya, set and forget. Last year I did that with Raya, worked out pretty well. No complaints, really. No complaints, right? Donnarumma, I really like a lot. Like I said, the second best behind Raya is Donnarumma, right? If you want to save 0.5 million, I think it's okay. But I definitely feel like you got to have an Arsenal defender in there, one way or another, okay? But Man City clean sheet, to start off the season just in general, this season I think is very valid, okay? Lamens, to start off the season, I think it's okay. But I don't trust Man United at all defensively, I'll be honest with you guys. But why not target him for the first 4 game weeks or so? I don't mind it, okay? The first 2 specifically, right? I'd probably ditch him after the second game week, okay? Personally. Ruffs, the first 3 game weeks, I don't mind him. He's a guy that showed that he can score a lot of points. Those 3 first fixtures are looking pretty decent for him, okay? Henderson, he's okay. Kinski, to start off the season, I really like him. If he's definitely nailed in Tottenham, which looks like he is for that price tag, I think he's the best kind of asset defensively for Tottenham, okay? For that price tag, okay? He's my favorite 4.5 million keeper just because of good fixtures, and we know that he's going to start, but I'm not confident in Tottenham defensively at all. That's why I have Raya in my team, okay? Because I don't want any headaches. I just want the confidence that I'm having a good keeper, and he's going to be nailed, okay? That's why I have Raya. Alisson could be a defensive alternative for Liverpool. I'd rather just go with, the defenders. I'd probably find that extra money for Van Dyke, dude, honestly. Kelleher, I don't mind the first, 3, 4 fixtures, but he's not a guy that I would want fixed for the rest of the season, okay? Verbruggen, kind of the same deal. You want to attack a bench boost with him? I don't mind it. But is he 100% nailed with all these European fixtures that Brian has besides the Premier League to start the season? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he might not be 100% nailed every game. But I don't mind him as a bet, okay? I don't mind him. Brian have shown that they can keep clean sheets last season. This is my current team, guys, to start off this season, okay? Running a 5-back with Richards on the bench. I could switch him to Canvo. I wouldn't mind that. But he just rotates really well with Shaw. But also I could sub out Shaw after game week 3 if I wanted to. Wouldn't be a problem. But if I don't want to use a transfer then, I could just bring in Richards for game week, right? I believe 3 and 4 he has really good fixtures. He has Fulham. He has Leeds afterwards. Some good fixtures. Then he has Ipswich. Like, he's just a guy that can cover me really well, okay? I think I'd rather use my 5 million on the defense rather than the midfield compared to having a guy like Sangare or fucking, right, like, Norgard. Like I said, I don't mind Norgard, but I'd rather have a defender. I feel like a 5 million defender is way more likely to score points for me than a 5 million mid. Like, the defender has the clean sheet to his favor. The defender has an easier time getting defcons than the midfielder. Let's be realistic. That's why I just feel like if I have 5 million, I'm going to look at a defender all day of the week, okay, compared to midfield. That's why I'm running a 5-back here. Like I said, kind of a very passive, good team to start off the season. Like I said, I'm looking for information to start the season off. This team, I feel like, can carry me to game week 6 without major issues, hopefully, okay? Yeah, maybe I have to switch a guy like Gahey for a guy like Gavardio. Wouldn't be a problem. But I feel like to have a passive enough team to score me points, I feel like this team could do it, okay? Good players from good sides, good balance in all areas of the team. Like I said, rotation on the bench with guys that are pretty much nailed guys. Here in Slater, he's a guy that can give me 90 minutes, maybe defcons here and there, but I'm not expecting too much of him, but he's pretty nailed, okay? Burst, though, he left the game. He's a price locked forward now. I'm not gonna take him out of the team now. He's price locked. He went to Sheffield, I think, Wednesday. So he's price locked. Basically, that means his price not going to fluctuate. I'm definitely going to keep him in the team now, right? It's a dead spot in my team. There we go, okay? But yeah, you guys tell me what you think of my team. This is a team that I feel like I could be very passive and still do pretty good start of the season. Get information to be aggressive potentially. Afterwards with a wild card into a bench boost. But just to be passive and have a good team start of the season, which is what I want to do, I think this team does it for me, okay? Here's my Instagram, guys. All my fantasy teams are posted there, usually an hour before the market closes, usually an hour before the deadline. All variety of fantasy games that I play are going to be there. I'm way more active on Instagram than I am on YouTube. Usually I just post videos on YouTube. So give me a follow there. Chat with me there. I'll definitely do my best to reply to you guys. But yeah, peace out. Good luck. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Peace out, guys.